Slashing staff at the Social Security Administration is sparking fears the system could collapse in just 90 days. Yes, you've heard that right. A former commissioner of the Social Security Administration, well, he's warning that the system is on the brink of collapse and the reckless cuts happening right now could trigger a meltdown that stops benefit payments to millions of retirees, disabled Americans, and children. Hi, I'm Lou Reyes, and today I'm going to be diving into a shocking new CNN report that exposes the deep staffing cuts, the chaotic leadership, and the rising fears that Social Security's fragile system, well, they're saying it's about to break. So stick with me because by the end of this video, you're going to understand what's happening, why it matters, and what it could mean for you. Now, I'm also going to respond to a couple comments that I received recently from viewers. So if you're somebody who's you commented recently, well, you know what? You're going to want to stick around because you're going to get my response. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Over 50 TV if you want to stay ahead of the news that affects your Social Security and retirement. The Social Security Administration has never missed a payment in its 90-year history. Never. But according to Martin O'Malley, who served as commissioner under the Biden administration, he says that could change in just 90 days if the Trump administration's deep staffing cuts continue at this pace. In his words, everything they're doing is driving this agency to system collapse. It will lead to interruptions in service that will ultimately cascade into more frequent system failures for the processing of claims, ultimately leading to system collapse and eventually the interruption of benefits. System collapse, interruption of benefits? That's not a fear tactic, my friends. It's coming from a former commissioner who understands exactly how fragile the Social Security Administration is. The acting commissioner of Social Security, Leland Dudek, well, he's admitted he's not even the one making decisions. When asked who is actually in charge, well, Dudek pointed the finger at Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. And his response? It's DOGE, not the DOGE kids, it's the DOGE management. So let's be clear. The agency that ensures 73 million Americans get their benefits is now being controlled by a group with zero experience running Social Security. Now, even Dudek himself acknowledged in a meeting with the DOGE team, he says they're moving so fast they could break things, including the system that processes your Social Security payments. The administration plans to slash 7,000 Social Security workers, which is 12% of the entire workforce. Now, some people fear the cuts. Well, they fear the cuts could go even deeper. In fact, Dudek's been shutting down entire divisions. He's been offering early retirements, and he's threatening layoffs with no real plan to keep the system running smoothly. And here's what's even more alarming. Social Security was already operating at its lowest staffing levels in decades. Back in 2010, the agency, well, it had 67,000 workers serving 60 million beneficiaries. Today, that number, well, it's down to 57,000 workers at the Social Security Administration, but the number of beneficiaries, well, that number has soared to 73 million. And Rich Coder, he's a spokesperson for the American Federation of Government Employees. Well, he puts it bluntly. Losing staff will crater the agency's ability to serve the public, and that could potentially have a disruptive effect on the provision of benefits. But it's not just staffing cuts. DOGE is closing offices too. Now, according to Jack Smulligan, he's a senior policy fellow at the Urban Institute. He says the downsizing is happening at such an unstructured, unplanned manner. It puts the agency at special risk. And Senator Ron Wyden, he's a Democrat out of Oregon, well, he warned a plan like this will result in field office closures that will hit seniors in rural communities the hardest. And that means longer wait times, fewer in-person services, and even bigger delays in getting benefits. Now, if all this wasn't bad enough, there's another massive risk looming: Social Security's ancient computer systems. The agency, well, it still runs on COBOL, which is a programming language that's so outdated that their green monochrome login screen, well, it actually says, "Welcome to the future." Martin O'Malley, he explains the danger. This system needs a lot of maintenance, and the concern is that if they're not careful with their firing, and he says they're obviously not, the experts in COBOL are mostly retirement age. Translation: The people who actually understand how to keep the system running, well, they're being pushed out with no plan to replace them. Now, if Social Security's outdated and fragile tech systems, if it starts failing, O'Malley says payments could stop. And let's not forget this. Let's not forget that last year, the Social Security Administration, well, it actually had two major outages that briefly crippled the system nationwide. Now, you might be thinking, didn't Trump promise to protect Social Security? Well, yes, he did. But his actions don't match his words. On the one hand, Trump keeps saying Social Security won't be touched. But then on the other hand, he lets DOGE gut the agency from the inside. And then there's Elon Musk, who recently called Social Security
the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Now, even worse, Musk spreads false claims that tens of millions of Americans over 100 years old are still collecting Social Security checks. It's complete nonsense. But Trump used Musk's false data in his speech to Congress this past week. And as Nancy Altman, president of Social Security Works, put it, attacking Social Security with dubious fraud allegations shakes people's confidence and trust in government. So where does this leave us? Well, we have an administration gutting Social Security's workforce, closing offices, and pushing out the experts who keep the system running. We have aging technology that could fail at any time, and we have Trump and Musk spreading misleading information while slashing the very workforce that keeps the system functioning. Folks, this is not just bureaucracy. This could affect your monthly Social Security check. So let's hear from you. What do you think? What do you think about former Social Security Commissioner Martin O'Malley's assertion that Social Security could collapse in just 90 days if the Trump administration's deep staffing cuts continue at this pace? Well, drop your thoughts in the comments below. And now let me respond to a few comments from our viewers. So here's a comment that I received from a Robert Borchert 4208. And Mr. Borchert is saying, close all Social Security offices, save money for all of us senior citizens. And on the surface, you might think, hey, this is just logical. It makes sense. If we cut our expenses, we'll have more money for maybe the trust fund, so it won't be depleted in 2035. So yeah, it does make some sense to cut expenses so you can save money, and that can help a lot more folks. But here's the issue I've heard from many other viewers who say, hey, I live in a rural community and we only have one office and there's a long wait time. Or I live in a rural community and there's no office that's nearby and I've got to travel an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to that nearest office. Now, they also tell me that they're not comfortable getting on a computer. They don't have anybody to help them to get on a computer to try to access Social Security Administration's website. And now we're also hearing that website we may have problems going forward with the Social Security website. So while it does make some sense, and I'm all for cutting expenses where they need to be cut, just plan ahead. But I don't think it's going to be so easy to just say close all the offices and we're going to save money, because a lot of folks that depend on that in-person contact, so they can get their questions answered. So that's not necessarily going to work for quite a few folks who are on Social Security. Here's another comment from a Rapid 13, and Rapid 13 is saying, but he's not wrong about Social Security and the finances. And Rapid 13 is talking about Elon Musk. He's saying, hey, he's not wrong. He's not wrong about Social Security. He's not wrong about finances. We want to make Social Security more efficient. We want to make sure the finances are strong, that we have a healthy Social Security trust fund. We don't have to worry. We don't want to worry about it going bankrupt or being depleted, rather, in 2035. So yeah, nobody's wrong. I mean, we're not talking about somebody being wrong about Social Security and about the finances. We're just saying it's not right. It's not efficient. It's not a great way to go about doing things, which is just let's just disrupt it. If things break, well, we'll fix them later on. Well, that doesn't work with Social Security. I can't imagine you not getting your Social Security check for 1 month or 30 days or 60 days and saying, well, it's okay. I've got to accept this disruption. No, it's not okay. We don't want to cut off our nose to spite our face. Do it with proper planning. Do it with some forethought. Don't just do it willy-nilly and say, man, I don't care. I'm just going to go ahead and break the system. So no, Rapid 13, he's not wrong about Social Security, and he's not wrong about the let's improve the financial situation. But yeah, let's just do it the right way. Here is my last viewer comment that I'm going to address today, and this is from someone named Need College Help. That's your handle, your YouTube handle. And Need College Help says, "Thank God the United States has entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and other tech billionaires who made it with zero help." Well, I read your comment, and I wasn't sure if you were being sarcastic, meaning, yeah, he had a lot of help, so did these other tech billionaires, or if you're saying, if I take it literally, that you didn't need any help. Well, let me just say this: if you're saying that literally, I would just suggest that you read Elon Musk, this book by Walter Isaacson. Walter Isaacson sat down with Elon Musk for I don't know how many months, or maybe it was a year. I have no idea. But it's a very comprehensive book. Talks about all the help that Elon had to build his businesses. So you can read that book. As you can see here, I've read it. I was a huge fan of Elon Musk at one point, and I ran out and got this book. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if you're being sarcastic. I just tell you, a lot of folks starting businesses need help. I ran a chain launched a chain of business-to-business magazines. Started from scratch, built it into a chain, sold it eventually. It was in 17 cities. I also had a weekly newspaper, 2 national trade show companies, a radio program. I could go on and on. Point being, everyone needs help, including me with both of my YouTube channels, Over 50 TV and Side Hustle Rules. So I don't know if you're being literal or if you're just being sarcastic, but either way, I hope I answered your or addressed what you said there. So that's all I got for you. As I said, if you have any questions, again, please go ahead. Love to hear from you. Also, consider subscribing to Side Hustle Rules and Over 50 TV. I also have a free breaking news email. You can subscribe to that. On that, I send you information maybe once a week, every couple of weeks or so, depending on if there's something that I don't address here on YouTube on this channel here. So if you want, there's a link in the description box to sign up for that. So again, that's all I got for you. I really appreciate your watching this video. And as I always say, have a great day, everybody.